Good afternoon and welcome to Mike and the Hoss on Wolfeboro Community Television. I'm Mike Danais.
And I'm Charlie Hossack.
And we want to mention thank you to our friends at the Downtown Grill and Cafe and also
Morrissey's Front Porch.
Morrissey's Front Porch.
Yep.
We couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, thank you for your sponsorship.
All right, Charlie, we talked about it last week. We are in a very, dead time as far as Kingswood sports.
Wrapping up fall.
There are no more fall sports that are going.
No.
Everything kind of wrapped up last week.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start with the football season. The football season came to a close.
It did. So.
In a little heartbreaking. I mean, we were expecting a little bit more from them.
Yeah.
The Carroll County Championship.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good game for a little while.
It was. First half was great. Fantastic.
Kingswood marched the ball down the field, looked great.
Took the lead.
And then Kennett started to, they started to play better.
Yeah.
And Kingswood couldn't keep up.
Yeah, they made the adjustments at halftime and started playing Kennett ball. I mean, Kennett is heading to the playoffs this week.
The number 4 seed, I believe.
They are the 4 seed. They're going to be playing Hollis Brookline on Saturday. So
who we didn't see, so we don't know anything about Hollis Brookline.
No. But, I mean, overall, just kind of to recap the football season, they ended up 3 wins and 6 losses. A couple of those wins, or at least 3 of those wins, could have really gone either way.
A couple of those losses could have gone
That's
either
what
way,
I'm
too.
sorry. I meant to say losses. A couple of those wins,
Well,
they went the right way. But a couple of the losses, I mean, some of those really close games and some of the games that we kind of predicted and expected that they would win were close, but they just didn't go the right way for the Knights.
When you and I were doing the broadcast on Friday night, I think we had mentioned that they could easily be 6-3, just as like they were 3-6.
You're right.
That we picked out 3 games that they ended up losing, Pembroke being one of them, where that they either should have or could have won.
Yeah, and Conval was definitely another one.
Conval was definitely one.
Yeah.
And I thought there was one more in there too. But I thought we had come up with 6 that they could have won, could have won or should have won.
Right.
And that's a lot. They were very competitive this year, more competitive than we've seen the Kingswood football team in a while.
I agree.
And so Coach Landry, congrats to Coach Landry and his staff for a job well done. Moving on though,
They got a big challenge ahead of them.
they have a real big challenge.
So we did senior night, and we were obviously at the game. And of the 29 players on the sideline, 15 of them will not be there next year. That's more than half.
Good math. That is more than half.
Yeah.
And
they will not be on the sidelines. They've graduated. So Coach Landry is going to have to figure some stuff out. We actually talked. We talked last night a little bit about next season. And we talked about and let's actually highlight a player. Patrick Reynolds, for example. He hadn't played football since 5th grade, and he stepped up and he played varsity football, and he made an impact on the team.
huge impact. He was a regular starter on offense and defense. He saw a lot of snaps, especially the second half of the season.
Right.
And deservedly so. Patrick did a nice job. They need a lot more Patrick Reynolds.
They do. He's the type of kid that, hadn't played football. And we need to find those kids here at Kingswood that are ready to play football as athletes. They're around. We know they're around. We've seen them.
I was talking to Coach McCullough today, actually, about the same exact thing, and he rattled off a few names, and I don't want to say them now because I don't want them to be promised into the program, but would make a direct impact that these are kids that played football in the past, good athletes, and aren't doing anything in the fall. So, yes, right now they're going into next season with 14 players, not including the freshmen that are coming up.
Sure.
And it's hard to plan on a freshman making a major impact for a lot of reasons, size.
Yeah, they're not going to make an impact at the varsity level as a freshman.
But so they're going to need some of these older kids that come through, and but if they don't get those, then they have some numbers issues.
They do, and I think Coach Landry and you talked to Coach McCullough. I think they're going to go after these kiddos and say, hey, you know what? You played football in the past. You're a great athlete. Come and check us out. And I think with a great off-season weight room, which they started last year.
Well, we heard the weights in the back of us.
Yeah, definitely.
We know
that hopefully these kids will step up, and the other 14 kids that are right now on the team can start to help recruit some kids.
Well, and I was just going to say that those 14 kids are probably the most important part of the whole program.
Absolutely.
Because they know, and we've seen this, there's so much attrition in football through injury and just, the grind of a football season.
Yeah.
Those 14 kids are going to be the best salesmen for the program that they need to go out and try to find. And if every one of them would find somebody, then they're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. And and I know I'm talking like a coach again, but those 14 kids need to live in the weight room. They're going to play their other sports, which we encourage and want them to do. But they need to lift weights, and they need to get stronger and bigger and be ready for next football season.
Volleyball also ended.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they lost in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Volleyball made the playoffs. They lost to St. Thomas last Thursday.
They did.
Volleyball, I would say it was kind of an up and down season for them because
they started off really hot.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year they were up in the top of the standings and dominating teams, and then they kind of fell back a little bit as the season wore on.
Yeah.
And
they had a lot of key injuries in the middle of the season,
and that affects the way of the volleyball the game is played. If you're missing some of your key players, it really impacts you.
It does.
It's not like you have necessarily shifts like you do in a basketball or hockey or something like that.
Yeah.
There's 5 kids, 6 players on the court, I believe.
Yeah.
So it makes a difference. But overall, Coach Place, a good successful season in a volleyball program. Yeah. So there are numbers in volleyball.
I was going to say that's the program we had talked about. That programming. If you go down to just the little kids in the elementary school up through the middle school, huge program. Lots of girls interested in playing volleyball.
There is a huge numbers at the middle school where I'm at. A lot of kids are playing volleyball, and they're serious about their volleyball. When we go out to recess or when we're in the gym or something like that, those girls will grab a volleyball and they'll be going back and forth, and so those girls are into it. And I think for a lot of them, it's their number one sport. And we've talked about number one sports versus secondary sports,
right?
And everybody has that. Our boys have that, and the kids have sports that they play, and then they have sports that they love, and that they focus on.
Sure.
It seems like volleyball is a primary sport for a lot of kids,
which is awesome.
Which means that they're going to train for volleyball,
yeah,
and they're going to do the off-season programs of volleyball.
Right.
So I think volleyball's in really good shape. We talked about soccer a lot this year. Their numbers are good, and we know that the youth movement in soccer is huge.
We do, and Coach Nelson and Coach Kelly, the girls and the guys coaches, they have a great off-season program already in place. It started last year. They play the futsal, the indoor soccer. They have the weight room. In the summer, they have the beach soccer. So they have these programs already in place, which is only going to help to make these teams better.
And so now I guess we get this time to look forward to the winter.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, field hockey. We didn't mention field hockey.
Or cross
country.
Yeah.
Field hockey did make the playoffs.
Yep.
And
we talked about that a little last week.
Yep. And so, we know Coach Riley, and it was a down year for her program compared to, in recent years.
Sure.
But she puts in so much time into it, and she's going to confident she'll get it back.
Right.
There's a lot of numbers at the middle school level, a lot of good athletes that are playing field hockey. So,
and I want a shout out, and I know 2 of the names, and I wish I had them all with me, but the All-State was announced for field hockey. So Abby Kelly made first team for field hockey. So congratulations.
Good for Abby, sophomore.
And I know Quinn Meserve made second team All-State. So well done. And if I've missed anyone, we will double check our sources and make sure that next week we celebrate them.
Abby's a sophomore, so you had 2 more years of Abby playing field hockey. So that's
and Quinn's coming back next year as a senior.
Those are 2 goods on the defensive end. Quinn's a goalie, and Abby's a forward or a 1. Sorry, Coach Riley. And so that's a good foundation to build around.
It is. As cross country, girls and guys, we had talked about them last week. The meet of champions took place this past weekend. And we had Joseph Wasson went and competed in that. So that was awesome to have him represent Kingswood.
Awesome. And I think cross country is generally a relatively strong sport at Kingswood.
Definitely.
Year after year.
Yeah.
Seems like we always all going back out to the stack houses to
and
Oleg Sheehan and Casey Arsenault and a whole bunch of other kids that are running. So I think cross country is in great shape. All right. That was actually good news.
Yeah.
You ready to talk about some bad news?
Yeah, I don't know if it's all bad. You got to just...
The Patriots lost, for those of you that don't know. The Patriots lost to the Ravens. Some of us decided to turn the TV off because it was...
Yeah,
we're just not used to it.
No. It hurt at the time, but, now that you look back, you can start to analyze and say, okay, what can they do better? And I think it's one of these things, I didn't think... I probably said it, Beak's going to call me out on this one. But I didn't think they were going to go undefeated, and and one of those things. It's almost even better to get that loss out of the way They have a bye they have a bye, so they're going to have 2 weeks to prep for their next game. 8-1 is nothing to look down upon, but you're right. As a fan, it hurt.
It's been almost a calendar year since they have lost a game.
Yeah.
Now, the amazing part of it is that we have said that on multiple occasions, not necessarily on a show because we haven't been on for 20 years, but we have said that on multiple occasions that it's been almost a year. Remember they won 22 straight at one time, and the run the Patriots have gone on where losses hurt because you're just not used to it. And Belichick said it. He says we're not used to it. It's been a year. We have to deal with this now. But I think the fans have to deal with it also because the fans of the Patriots are not used to losing. No. We are so spoiled.
We are. And did you see the video of the Patriots fan that was at the game?
Crying?
Just in tears. And I totally get it. I get it. But I understand it was a little emotional. But I get
do you think he was crying because of the game, or was he getting bullied by the Ravens fans?
I don't know. I don't know if he's getting bullied by Ravens fans.
I have trouble believing that he was actually bawling because the Patriots lost.
I think he was upset because the Patriots lost.
Okay. All right. So I had put it on our notes.
Oh, wait, hang on a second. You said, hang on. You couldn't even watch the game. You had to shut the game off.
I was tired.
Because you couldn't. No, you were tired. No, you couldn't watch the game because you couldn't stand to watch the Patriots lose.
I can't. I don't like it. And another thing, I don't listen to the radio after they lose.
So it's been so for the past 24 hours, it's been radio silence.
This is completely everything that comes out right now is me. This is not hearing about it from anybody else.
Okay.
It's part of it is because over the last 20 years, there are so many Patriot haters out there.
Oh yeah.
That when they lose, everybody comes out of the woodwork.
Oh yeah, they're all out there.
Aaron Rodgers has a god awful game the other day.
Yeah.
No, but nobody says that he's done or washed up or anything like that. Brady did not have a bad game against the Ravens. It wasn't a great game, but it wasn't a bad game. But everybody's saying he's done. The Patriots are done. Belichick's done.
Yeah.
I can't stand that talk.
I know.
So, and on that side, do you think they're done?
They're absolutely not done. Did you see, though, I know you haven't been listening, but you saw who greeted Brady when he came out of the tunnel.
Yes, Kryptonite.
Yeah, Ed Reed was there.
Did you hear what Brady said to him?
He says,
oh, no, my Kryptonite's here.
Yeah, my Kryptonite is here. Yep, absolutely.
That's kind of a bad omen.
Yeah, well, definitely a bad omen.
Where was Brady's game face? Why was he, was he walking on the field, giving hugs and kisses to his Kryptonite?
I know. And giving high fives on the field to the opposing players. You saw that, right? After a nice play by the defense, Brady gave a little high five.
I missed that one.
You probably weren't watching. That's why.
I probably was. I was sleeping at that point. Did you see anything from the Patriots? Yes, they're 8-1. They're still dominating. Did you see anything that concerns you?
I mean, it's we sound like a broken record. I mean, our concerns are Patriots concerns. They're probably, if any other team had these concerns, they wouldn't be concerns. So you could say, offense. You could say offensive line is still a bit of a concern. I thought the defense is really not a concern because they were able to adjust to stop the run. You're not going to see, unless they're going to install it now because they think it's the kryptonite of the Patriots defense. You're not going to see other teams running a similar offense to the Ravens.
No, but this is 3 games now that they've been run on pretty good. The Bills game they were run on, the Browns game they were run on, and in this game they were run on. So I do think that there's some concerns around their run defense. Their offensive line, again, that is broken record. I'm hoping that Isaiah Wynn comes back to solidify that a little bit. Offensively, I'm confident that they're going to figure something out. Now that
we got
Sanu, and he seems to fit in really well with what they want to do. And
N'Keal
Harry,
yep.
Hopefully he's come back. I did hear that they're talking about running kind of a pseudo tight ends with him because Sanu's a big guy.
He is a big guy.
N'Keal Harry's a big guy, and so really kind of changing what their offense is.
Did I just hear you say something? Gronkowski? Did you say that? You didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
I didn't think so. But what do you think of that? So, you saw the 80%, 20%, 20% chance he comes back.
I did.
I mean, is this, we had been talking, is this the time?
Well, we said by Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And
it was getting close.
I saw him last week. He is a beanpole. He could be a swimmer.
Yeah.
He does not look like a tight end in football right now.
He doesn't.
And so I'm going to say no just on basically how I saw him.
How he physically looks.
Yeah. And we don't need another wide receiver. We need a bulky tight end that can hold on the line.
Yeah.
So now I don't.
So I think I'm with you. I don't think Gronk's coming back.
I don't think
not
Gronk's
anytime soon.
Getting back to the Ravens game, and this is major Homer, Patriot talk here.
Yeah.
But I went back through it. I found 17 points.
Yeah.
That could have easily gone away from the Ravens and in favor of the Patriots.
Pats. Okay.
So I will recap for you.
All right.
All right. So when the Ravens scored their first touchdown, the Pats were offsides when they were kicking the field goal.
That's right.
That's 4 points.
Yep.
The Edelman fumble. They were marching down. They were going to score.
Yeah, they were going to take the lead in the second half.
They were going to take the lead in the second half. He
Yep.
went the other way.
Yep.
That is 14 points right there.
Yeah.
7 would have gone for the Patriots.
Sure.
And then I can even go farther. James White slipped in the goal line when he was going in, and they ended up kicking a field goal. There's another 4 points. So really, I'm up to 21 points.
Yeah.
And that's just off the guy who didn't watch the end of the game. So who knows what happened then?
Sure.
So I think that the loss hurt. I think it does bring up some concerns, but I'm not overly worried.
Right.
At this point, I want to see them fix things. I want to see them get better, and typical Belichick teams do get better as the season goes on.
Right.
And this, I think, and I agree with you. This is probably better than being undefeated.
Yeah.
Identify where their losses, where their holes are.
Right.
And fix them.
Yeah.
So, all right, we have a quick game that we're going to play. It's called Pretender or Contender.
Okay.
Or Contender or Pretender.
For the NFL.
For the NFL.
Okay.
And so we've got the teams up there, and this is unlike the game that we played, similar, I guess, but it's unlike remember the last game we played when we dealt with this, we picked our two guys at the end?
Yes.
Now we're just going to say if they have a chance to
qualify for the playoffs?
Yeah, so if they're a pretender or a contender.
Okay.
Let's start with the AFC East.
All right.
I'd say the Bills are...
I'm going to say contender for the Bills.
Yeah, they're one game behind the Patriots right now. Dolphins, no, obviously not. Yep. Patriots, yes, obviously.
Yeah.
The Jets, oh my God, what a dumpster fire that is right now.
Yeah, they lost to the Dolphins.
They lost to the Dolphins, but I urge you to read some of the New York the New York stuff, especially if you don't like the Jets. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is just absolutely awesome how they are dumping on that team. And
I'll have to start doing that. I don't like any New York team.
They spent more money on free agency than any other team in the league. The Jets did.
Gosh.
And they are an absolute dumpster fire.
It's terrible.
Jets are already gone. They already did it for us.
The Ravens are contenders.
Absolutely. Bengals.
Pretenders.
Pretenders. Browns.
Definitely a pretender.
Steelers.
Pretenders.
Very good.
Yeah.
Texans.
Contenders.
Texans are contenders. Colts.
I would have said contender, but Jacoby Brissett got injured. They ended up losing to the Steelers. I like the Colts.
What's his injury?
It was a knee injury.
So it's significant?
Well, I don't know.
Was it a kneecap?
I don't know how significant it is.
So he's going to be out for a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5-3.
I'm going to say...
let's go contender.
I'm going to say contender because they're doing this without Andrew Luck, who retired at the beginning of the year.
That's true.
And they have a lot of... the best offensive line in the league.
Yeah.
One of the best defensive line in the league.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of things besides the quarterback. I don't think Jacoby Brissett was carrying them by any means.
Oh, no, I don't either, but I think he's a good quarterback for the Colts.
Jaguars.
Oh,
I'm
going to say pretender.
Titans
pretenders. Yeah.
And those are two teams that should have been contenders this year. So, AFC West, Broncos, they're pretenders.
I'm going to go pretenders.
They don't have a quarterback.
Yeah. Chiefs will go contender.
Contenders. Chargers,
pretenders
this year. Raiders.
Yeah.
They're kind of hanging around.
They're hanging around, and I don't know. They're the Raiders. I'm going to go with pretenders.
Me too. I don't think they're there this year. There's our 6 playoff teams right there. What do you think?
I like it.
Okay. All right, let's go to the NFC. Cowboys.
As much as I don't like saying this,
Mr. McCullough?
Mr. McCullough, they are contenders.
Yeah. They won relatively easily last night.
Yeah.
Giants.
They are pretenders.
Eagles. I think the Eagles are still contenders at this point.
They are.
They have a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah.
Redskins are pretenders.
Yeah.
Bears. No offense. Good defense.
Yeah.
No offense whatsoever.
They're pretenders.
Lions. They lost a tough one the other day. I think that makes them pretenders.
They did, yeah. Pretenders for the Lions. Packers, contenders.
Contenders, they're doing well. Vikings.
I would say contenders.
At this point, their offense is clicking. Falcons, pretenders. They're in tough shape. Panthers. I think.
What do you think with the Panthers?
Wow.
I mean they're 5-3. I would say contenders.
I think so too, and They've been playing pretty well without Cam Newton.
Yeah. Saints, definitely
Saints,
contenders.
Absolutely. I had them in the end.
Yeah. Buccaneers, pretenders.
Yep. Cardinals, pretenders.
Yeah, pretenders for the Cardinals.
They're 500, but I think it's a weak 500 that they are.
Yeah.
The Rams are still contenders at this point.
Yeah, the Rams are. Because they're 5-3.
They're 5-3.
Yeah. 49ers undefeated. Only team that's undefeated, 49ers.
And Seahawks for sure.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 of those teams aren't going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so what do you think? So looking at those, what 3 would you pick?
I would say the Vikings are going to be out. The Panthers are going to be out.
And I think the Eagles will be out. I do, but...
And, yeah, I would agree with that. And I think your 49ers and the Seahawks will probably be your 2 wildcard teams.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. All right, want to move on to hockey real quick?
Yeah, sure. Bruins.
Bruins, they keep winning.
Yep.
Did you watch last night?
I did not.
They were up 3-0.
Yeah.
They were playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh scored 4 goals in the second period to take a 4-3 lead. Now you're waiting for the Bruins just to take a I mean, it's hockey. It's an 82-game season. There's ebb and flows of the season. So you thought last night, okay, they're playing with Halak, their backup goalie, and so what do the Bruins do? They come out and score 3 goals to take the
in the third period, or
in the third period.
Wow.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And they're winning.
Mm-hmm.
Their perfection line, the Pasternak, Bergeron, Marchand, is by far the best line in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in to watch that. They are playing like I think there's
highest level.
Oh my God, it's like they're playing against a different level of teams.
Wow.
And it's fun to watch. If you're a hockey guy, it's really fun to watch.
So as you predicted, we're coming up on Thanksgiving, so the Bruins are looking like
right now they are looking really good.
Yeah,
and they're getting scoring from other lines too. Celtics.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're 4-1.
So they did win Sunday. I missed it on Sunday.
Yeah.
Who'd they play Sunday?
So they're I don't have it written down, but
I just because the Pats were happening at the same time, I think.
I can tell you right here. I actually have the information. So tonight they play the Cavaliers. All right. So they beat the Knicks. That was a close one, 104-102. They beat the Bucks. We had talked about that last week.
Okay, so I didn't. So
you didn't miss it. They beat the Knicks twice.
Okay, they beat the Knicks twice.
And they beat the Raptors, and then of course the Bucks.
And
they played the Cavaliers tonight.
And that should be a win.
Should be a win for the
Celtics
Celtics tonight.
They're in Cleveland, so you never know.
You never know.
Quick discussion. Big difference between this year and last year seems to be the chemistry.
Oh yeah.
They had more talent last year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Kyrie Irving. And I was a hater from our very first show.
Yep.
I was a hater about Kyrie Irving. Mm-hmm. But I also said he's awesome to watch.
Yeah, he's unbelievable player.
This year
they don't have the talent,
but they have the chemistry.
They have the chemistry.
Which is more important?
Well, that's a tough question because I think the Celtics chemistry. I think they're gonna qualify. Well, they're gonna qualify for the playoffs. We know that, but I think they might get through a round, or maybe even 2, just based on the chemistry.
I agree. I think they're a hardworking team, and they're starting to really move the ball around.
Yep.
And that gets a lot of other guys involved, keeps other people happy. Mm-hmm. I think they're in good shape right now. And taking a look at what our friend Mr. Irving is doing in Brooklyn.
Oh gosh, he's stirring the pot over there.
Same kind of stuff he did here. Same exact stuff. You'd think a fresh start, he's going home, all that other kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Think about it though with the talent. So like last year's Celtics, they remind me a little bit of this year's Cleveland Browns. Look at all the talent the Cleveland Browns have.
Yeah.
They have so much talent that they should be winning games, and they just can't. And last year the Celtics should have been winning a lot of games, and they just couldn't.
They couldn't get out of their own way last year.
No.
But they played selfish. They did. And the Celtics still have a lot of talent on there. Mm-hmm. But I think in that first game you saw Jason Tatum doing a lot of selfish things.
Yeah.
And he now has backed that off of that, and he's starting to move the ball around and playing team ball.
Yeah.
And when Brad Stevens' teams are playing team ball, they're good teams.
Very good teams.
Red Sox.
A lot of news, yeah.
JD Martinez opted in.
Yeah.
Which is huge for 1 year.
Yeah.
He can opt out again next year, which was kind of surprising.
You know what that means? So that's the kiss of death for Mookie Betts.
You would think so, but they still have to find a trade partner.
They do.
And he's going to, in arbitration alone, he's going to command close to $30 million.
Right.
So whoever signs him is going to be picking up a $30 million tab if they don't sign him to a long term. And if they sign him to long term, it's going to be $30 million plus.
Yeah. So
that there's not a lot of teams out there that do $30 million.
No, and I think Mookie's looking to try to get a Trout type deal that I don't think he's going to get.
I don't think so. I think timing is really bad for him.
Won a Gold Glove though this year again.
Yeah,
4th year in a row. And I'm just saying,
that's wonderful.
I mean, he didn't have a terrible year last year.
Who's a better defensive fielder, Jackie Bradley or Mookie Betts?
Well, obviously, Jackie Bradley.
Why isn't he winning Gold Gloves?
Yeah, I know.
I don't get that.
Yeah,
I don't get that at all. But anyway, the Red Sox might be stuck with Mookie, for lack of a better word, or Mookie might be stuck with the Red Sox.
So what do they have to do though? They want to get under the 208 million.
$208 million.
Yeah. So what are they? So they've locked in JD for what? What is it? 27?
23.
23. All right. So they've locked him in for 23. Mookie, you're on the hook for what? What's he?
He's going to be looking
at
close to
29, 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
you're paying JBJ 11.
They were at. He's arbitration eligible too.
Yeah.
So they're going to be paying him more than 11.
Yeah.
Somebody's going.
Yeah.
Somebody's going. I think they're going to have a difficult time getting under the 208 unless a David Price opts out.
Yeah.
Or they can trade a David Price.
Could they get rid of Evaldi?
They could, but
I don't know how much they're.
He's $17 million.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna. Hopefully, he gives you $17 million worth. I think Price is the one. If you can get rid of Price, Price is $31 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big chunk.
But Price is coming off a not so great year, and he's getting older. So I don't know. I don't know who wants him.
Maybe you eat some of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they get some decisions to make. We are running out of time pretty quick here today.
Okay.
I wanted to talk quickly about our debate last week was about college athletes getting paid, and we referred to the California ruling.
Right.
There was an update right after our show, actually,
Yeah.
where the NCAA came out with the ruling that says, yes, college athletes can profit from their likeness.
Right.
And so, in other words, endorsement deals.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
It changes the landscape of college athletes.
Yeah. So that likeness, that's for things like video games.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So EA Sports, puts.
Of course, they put the NCAA.
Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback of Clemson, on their cover.
Yep.
Now they're going to have to pay Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's getting paid. Is he still an amateur?
Yeah. No. Once you start getting paid, you're a professional.
So you're allowed to be a professional and play football.
I know, which is frustrating. Which was. Do you know any more about the NCAA ruling?
No,
how do they?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
My guess is, and I'm just spitballing, is that the California ruling was actually based on a real legal precedence or legal facts, and the NCAA had no choice. So instead of going through a long, drawn-out court battle, they just said, "Fine, we got to do this," and we don't know how it's going to turn out. Now, could this mean that more kids coming out of high school now will go to college? Maybe. So you're going to be going to college, driving up in your Porsche, those top athletes, because they just signed a deal with Nike.
So, but what happens though? What if the NCAA says, okay, they've already made it clear that you can be paid for this, but what if they now say, okay, then you need to pay to play at my college? So could those colleges essentially get some money from those athletes?
Yeah, I doubt that.
Not offer scholarship?
Yeah, yes, maybe that. Maybe they don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Because the colleges are going to get their money.
I think this is going to open up just such a can of worms that.
Well, we had said last,
Joe's Hardware Store is going to be sponsoring, some guy now, and giving him money, and it's just going to go, everywhere. It's just, it's going to be really hard to govern which endorsement deals are legit and which ones are, agent based, and which ones. Now does this bring into gambling now? Mm-hmm. Say Joey Capone on the side of the street paid Charlie Hossack a couple $100.
Right.
And between you and him it was to throw the game, but he says, I'm sponsoring him. He's endorsing my product.
Right. Right.
So.
I don't know. That'll be interesting.
No offense to anybody named Joey Capone. I was just kind of going with a stereotypical.
Should Mike and the Hoss think about maybe sponsoring some athletes?
Why not?
All right. That'll be a topic for another day.
So our other thing we were going to talk about was Instant Replay. We're going to have to push that to next week.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about Instant Replay lately.
Yeah.
A lot. Between the World Series with the strike zone to and the play down first base,
right.
whether it was reviewable or not, to all the penalties that are happening in football, to basketball. It is so prevalent that I think it's worth a discussion.
We should talk about it. And the people have strong opinions on both sides.
Yep.
All right.
That's going to do it for us and Mike and the Hoss. Thank you for joining in. Again, thank you to Downtown Grill and Cafe.
Yep, Downtown Grill Cafe and Morrissey's Front Porch for sponsoring Mike and the Hoss.
That's going to do it for us. Oh, and thank you to Allie Behind the Glass.
Yeah, thank you, Allie Champagne. Go Knights.
Go Knights.